All right, same situation. I guess I didn't say the date before, but it's Monday, June the 2nd. Um, so same exact situation. Um, and hopefully I have my microphone on still, but I believe I do. Oh, shit. I forgot to put the top cover in here. 1 second. Okay. I should do all this before I start my videos, huh? But that wouldn't be my style. All right, same situation. This hive was the one I expected to swarm a while ago. And then the weather turned. And last week, I only went through these ever so briefly. I only checked because they had a queen cell that was fully formed. And I just figured that meant they were going to go swarm. On Saturday, when I expected a swarm, this was the hive that I had expected would be going to swarm. Now, what's interesting is I can already tell there are still a lot of bees in this box, which may indicate that I'm right. They may very well have talked themselves out of swarming here, which would be kind of cool, except for one fact. They didn't have a whole lot of eggs, larvae, and brood when I was checking last week. So again, I'm at this situation with my hives where they've kind of been loving to test me because this one seems light as all sin again. I'll weigh it, but it doesn't have much weight to it at all. Yep, 8.4 pounds, just like the other one. 8. So we got 16 pounds on the upper. I'll check it real quick. But I can already see that it's kind of a whole lot of nothing burger so far. So I put this on here to prevent them from swarming. That was the original idea, was we give them more space early because I just had a monster hive coming through winter. That's got nectar, a little bit drawn out comb, but a little bit of nectar, nothing to write home about. Oh, this one's starting to fill up with nectar. Oh, well, this one had several different kinds of queen cells, mostly crap ones. So you can kind of see they built out some weird comb there at the bottom. There's some dark comb. I'm going to go ahead and get that out of there and let them start over. Sorry, Mama. What's interesting is, you may notice they are a little bit more docile, so who knows? Who knows what's going on with these girls, but they were pissy before. All right, so this would be frame 4. Another queen cell on the bottom, but it's empty, a queen cup. Again, not seeing any eggs, larvae, brood. They definitely are bringing in nectar, which is nice. And all the frames up here are filled out, so as soon as they're ready to rock, they're going to be ready to rock. Nectar. Oh, they came right out at me. You see that? They are still a little pissy. It's just filling up with some nectar. So they're kind of treating this like they would a super. You know, no brood, just nectar. Um, but like I said, I don't know if I have any brood in this thing anyway. So we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to do if I have no queen cells, and no brood. I will have no choice but to requeen. But I'm not going to make any of those decisions now until next week, and we'll just see how this thing goes. But if I don't have any eggs in here by the next time I check, I'm going to have no choice. I'm going to have to get them a queen. Or otherwise, we're going to lose the whole hive. And we may be losing our honey stores if they're not careful. This could be our honey season right here on a bet, and I just hope I didn't make the wrong one. I did not anticipate that this would be a potential problem. Okay, now last week when I got into this hive, the next frame was the frame I saw that had a queen cell on it, and I just closed them back up. I haven't checked the rest of this hive, so I don't know what's going on. But now they're zipping by me pretty strongly. Well, it still has, it's unhatched. Well, it is an unhatched queen cell. Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep going. Again, no eggs, no larva, no brood. Really dark, unhatched queen cell, which looks like exactly, well, it is exactly the one I saw last week. It looks exactly like it looked last week. And she should be emerging any day then, because they only stay there for like 8 days. Which is why I have been expecting this queen to, or this hive to swarm already. I just would have thought for sure they would have swarmed already. I don't know if you can hear, but they're just zapping all over me. Okay, so on the bottom of this one, we have several queen cells. Some are not emerged, some are. Okay, I'm going to go back to my original plan then, and I'm going to button these guys up. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep going. I think these ones are indeed going to swarm. I mean, there's a bunch of queen cells here on the bottom, a couple queen cups that have already been ripped open. And this is what I was talking about, where when the weather got bad, I wonder if what they did was they just kind of kept tearing down cells until they had one that they felt they could live with to swarm with. But they've got, I mean, they got 3 or 4 queen cells up in this box alone that are not hatched. So maybe by the time I get back from my trip, I will have a baby beehive out front. Who knows? I know they've been checking it out. I mean, they have been all over it. If you ever wonder if they scout a location before they take off, they do, which was something I was trying to test the theory of. And I believe they most certainly do. I have seen bees in there every single day. And obviously, I haven't caught a swarm every single day. All right, I weighed this one, I believe. Did I? I don't know if I did, so I'm going to reweigh it. Sorry, and all the excitement, I got excited. Okay, last one over there was 36. This one's only going to be about 22. So very light box. Very light. And again, if I get my way, when this hive swarms, I'll just catch it up front. That one's super light too. And this has been my biggest fear, is that, yeah, it's only 8 pounds. So that means it's going to be 16 total pounds. Probably shouldn't do that with my scale in hand. I wasn't going to do this today, but I kind of felt like I had to, and I'm kind of glad I did, because I know these guys still have a queen cell that they can swarm with as soon as they're ready. Sorry, I wasn't trying to do that. Yeah, they got nothing. All right. Well, I hope they know what they're doing. I'm letting them do it their way. But this hive has gone from first to worst in a real quick way. Yeah, they got nothing. So if they're swarming with her, they've already thinned her down and she's not put any eggs in. If you don't want to grab your smoker, just breathe. They don't like the carbon dioxide. Damn. These hives are going to be in trouble if they don't get her mated quick. I mean, they just don't have any brood. They've already gone through it all. And so if they don't get a mated queen in here quick, they're going to have a severe dip in population, and that is going to be bad. All right. Well, I'm done. I know the situation. This hive is still on par to swarm. I think that hive over there is superseding, and I think that oh, babies. Hi, hi guys. Yeah, they're super aggressive right now too. If I wasn't covered, they'd be getting me left and right. They're not happy with this outcome. All right. Well, I think this hive is still on swarm watch then. That hive is, I think, more on supersedure watch, and mainly because this hive has active queen cells and that hive does not. And so that tells me that either that hive's going to die or they're going to replump up their queen, or they superseded her rather, and they'll get eggs once she's mated. We'll know here. We'll know her next week, because by next week, when I do my next inspection, all of these things should have happened. So if this hive swarms sometime this week, then I will not touch them next week. I'll let them go and let their queen get mated and all that fun stuff. I'm assuming now that that hive is not going to swarm, and so I'm going to go on the assumption that that they are just going to have a newly mated queen, but that should also happen in the next couple days. Now, both these hives had a ton of drone brood in there, so there's plenty of boys around. So we'll let them do what they're going to do, and we'll see what happens next week. The good news on all of this is, so the upside about letting them swarm naturally, in my opinion, is that they will also empty all of their drone brood out of, or I'm sorry, they'll empty all of their brood out, and that will kill varroa mite, and that'll keep varroa from populating the hive. And so my hope was, right before they went into summer harvest, they would have a new queen and new hives and be ready to go, but we're behind about a week on that. So we'll see. Bye.